When I was a kid, I always imagined treasures buried underground, coins, gold, maybe even something mysterious. I used to dream about finding something incredible hidden in the forest. So today, I decided to finally test that dream. Here's the plan. I'm going to dig over 100 holes with this metal detector to see what I can actually find. Will it be just trash? Or maybe something valuable? I will tell you. After digging hole after hole, I found something I didn't expect. Alright, today's the day. We're going treasure hunting. Realistically, I'll probably just find a rusty nail, but hey, hope dies last. First thing, the detector. Without this thing, I'd just be a guy staring at the ground until 2080. And for digging, yeah, I brought this thing. Technically, it's a hoe, not a pickaxe, which means if the ground is hard, we're doomed. Next time, I'm definitely bringing a proper pickaxe. Lesson learned. And after all that preparation, we finally headed into the forest. And as we entered the forest, we unlocked our very first achievement. Start your journey. From now on, every step could be another achievement. Or just a mosquito bite. But hey, treasure hunters never quit. And after a few minutes, our detector finally picked up a signal. We started digging with our mighty hoe. Every scoop felt like we were one step closer to treasure. Or one step closer to realizing this ground is basically concrete. And after all that effort, we dug up a random metal can. No label, totally crushed. Probably older than me. And that means new achievement unlocked. Ancient trash collector. Not exactly treasure, but hey, at least it's historical garbage. I like to think this can was here for 100 years, waiting just for us. And honestly, it probably wishes we left it alone. And right next to it, we already had another signal. So, of course, we immediately started digging again. This one was a nightmare. We thought it was going to be easy. Beep, dig, treasure. Simple. But instead, it turned into a 30-minute adventure of running in circles, chasing signals that seemed to move every time we started digging. Sometimes the detector was screaming at us. Then, the moment we dug, it went silent. Other times we dug a hole, checked again, and the signal was suddenly 2 meters away. Basically, we looked like two people trying to dig for invisible treasure. At some point, I wasn't even sure if we were digging for gold or just digging ourselves a new swimming pool. But we didn't give up. 30 minutes later, sweaty, confused, and slightly angry at the detector, we finally pulled something out of the ground. A broken piece of a horseshoe. And that means new achievement unlocked. Nomad's Relic. And then we were still picking up a signal in the same hole. We thought, maybe this is the other piece of the horseshoe. But after digging and digging, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I would name this achievement False Hope. So then we decided to move to a new spot, and after about 5 minutes, we found another signal and started digging again. I was digging, but I couldn't figure out what it was. I probably would have just thrown it out, because apparently I have the eyesight of a blind mole. But thanks to my highly intelligent friend, who actually noticed something sticking out of the dirt, we took a closer look. And luckily, it turned out to be a little metal circle with a hole in it. And that means new achievement unlocked, Dirt Detective. After that, we moved to a new place and started digging like crazy. We were 100% sure this was the one. And after all that effort, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not even a name. So yeah, we packed up and moved on, pretending we totally meant to do that. After a while, we couldn't find any new signals anywhere. So we decided to go back to the spot we left earlier. You know, the one that betrayed us before. We turned the detector back on and boom, another signal right there. We started digging again, and after some time, we found a tiny little metal plate. Probably nothing special, but at least it wasn't another can. And that means new achievement unlocked. The return of the diggers. So yeah, I'm glad we came back. Without this, the video would have been 5 minutes shorter. And yeah, in the same hole, we also dug up a big rock. No idea why, but it felt important at the time. After that, we moved to a new place, and right away, the detector picked up a signal. We didn't waste any time, grabbed the pickaxe, and started digging like pros. It took us maybe a minute, our fastest dig ever. And there it was, a thick metal tube just sitting there in the dirt. No idea what it is, but it looked kinda serious, so we decided not to mess with it too much. And that means new achievement unlocked, speed diggers. And as you can probably guess, after that hole, we started digging a new one. We dug and dug and we kept digging until we once again found absolutely nothing. Classic. So we filled the hole back up, pretending it never happened, and moved on to find a new signal. So, after our previous success, we decided to keep going and started digging a brand new hole. At this point, our confidence was still high. We were ready for something big. Maybe a coin, maybe a ring, maybe even a hidden treasure chest. But no. What we actually found was one of the most classic, most iconic, and most disappointing items in metal detecting history. A rusty nail. Truly a masterpiece of ancient junk. Probably older than both of us combined. And immediately after that, we started digging again. New spot, fresh hope. And guess what we found this time? Another rusty nail. At this point, we were basically professional nail collectors. If this keeps going, I'll open my own rusty hardware store. And that means new achievement unlocked. Double rusted. And if that wasn't enough, in our next hole, we found yet another rusty nail. At this point, I think the universe was trying to tell us something. Maybe we were cursed. Or maybe we just really like nails. And that means new achievement unlocked. Nail hoarder. And then we had our biggest find of the day. By this point, we were completely exhausted. We had been digging all day. Sweat, dirt, blisters, aching arms, and all we had to show for it were rusty nails and crushed cans. Nothing valuable, nothing shiny, nothing that made us feel like treasure hunters. Until this moment. We decided to get a bit clever, or desperate, and dig two holes side by side because there was a strong signal. We were digging, digging, and digging, and suddenly my friend started yelling at me. I thought he had fallen into the hole, or maybe found another rusty nail, but no. He shouted, "I found something!" I ran over, heart pounding, imagining gold coins or a legendary artifact.
Kamarád. Čekej. Já jsem viděl video na YouTube a tam říkal, že takovýhle věci většinou začneš jako, že najdeš třeba až po několika týdnech nebo i měsících jako hledání.
So, what did we actually find? A coin! After a full day of pain and dirt, we're basically millionaires now. No, just kidding. We went to clean the coin just to see what it actually was because it was completely covered in dirt, and it turned out to be a Czechoslovakian coin from 1958. Not bad, right? After all that digging, we finally found a little piece of history. So, what's it really worth? We checked the internet, and it turns out it's worth about $2. All that effort for lunch money. But honestly, I think this might be the best achievement we've got so far. Achievement unlocked. Treasure found. After that, it started getting dark, fast. But since we'd just found that coin, we suddenly got the energy to dig again. So we started one last hunt. The grass was really tall, and because it was getting dark, we had to use our phone flashlights. We were mostly searching through the grass instead of the ground, because we were pretty sure we'd already dug it up. We just couldn't see it. After a few minutes of crawling around like lost miners, we finally found it. A small metal ball. Not exactly treasure, but at least it was something. Right after that, we packed our stuff and got out of there as fast as we could. Because, it was pitch dark, and we'd been in the forest all day. Every time we heard a little noise, we turned into professional panic experts. After that, we tried to clean everything we found, or at least tried to. Some of it was so rusty and muddy that even soap gave up. But still, it was worth it. So here it is, everything we managed to dig up today. A bunch of rusty nails, a mysterious tube, and of course, our legendary Czechoslovakian coin. Not the most valuable treasure, but definitely the most hard-earned one. And that's everything we found today. If you enjoyed this little adventure, drop a like and comment if you want to see part 2. Because trust me, the next one gets way crazier. I'm also on a mission to reach 0.5% of Ryan Trahan's subscribers. So if you want to help me get there, maybe hit that sub button. See you next time, treasure hunters.